Imagine my surprise when Donald Trump's higher self started hanging out with me.
God, is there anything I can say that would make this worse? Shoo-wing! Holy fuck! This crazy woman's hot as hell. She's one of these fairly regular women. Well, she's nuts, but fairly regular women who just looks incredible. It's amazing the power that these bitches have. I worked in a customer service department one time. Our product was shit. It was kids' stickers, and routinely parents would phone up bitching and moaning because two of them were stuck together in the pack, or there was two of the same in the pack, and it was our job to appease them, to try and calm them down without giving shit away. But sometimes you had to give shit away because they just wouldn't calm down. Annoying, actually, to see it from the inside. The people who kick up the most fuck are the ones that get the free shit. You want it to be the other way around for the moany bastards whose fucking life crashes to nothing and they're willing to rage on the phone for hours over a fucking sticker. Those people, you sort of think, nah, you deserve a punch in the face more than anything else. And the ones that phone up going, oh, this is really fucked up. And you slowly fob them off and try and, you know, wear them down when there's not much to wear down. Those are the ones you feel sorry for. You sort of think, nah, they deserve the free shit because they were being really nice. So, working in this crappy so-called customer service department in this stupid sticker factory, there was only about 6 of us. There weren't that many phone calls about this type of shit, just enough to keep 6 people busy on a full-time basis. And one day we had a new girl started, a woman, and this woman was hot as hell. She was probably the hottest woman I've ever seen. Just a wave of hotness was coming off her as she walked along. She had a face that would break your heart instantly. She had a body like fucking crazy. She must have been 5'8", 5'9". She was quite tall for a woman. Imagine Jessica Rabbit, unexaggerated just a little bit, wrapped in conservative business clothes, with a brunette rather than red hairstyle, neat, attention to detail written all over it, perfectly proportioned. You could see through her little blouse that her baps were full and pert. You could see her waist. She had this little tiny belt she'd wear around her waist, fairly high-waisted business skirt that was always fucking skin tight, and her ass was perfect. The effect just of looking at her was about the same. You think of the hottest woman that you know. If it's a celebrity or someone in school that you never got to nail, the woman that appears in your fantasies more often than anyone else. Looking at her was that level of hit. She was that level. Your favourite fantasy walking right by. When she arrived, we had to sort of shuffle around the table a little bit, and it just so happened that I had the choice of where to sit, because I was standing there not paying that much attention to anything other than this new woman. I had the choice. Now, I don't do things like this. I'm not that guy. I like to be seen to be being professional in the workplace. I wouldn't have been driven by other considerations to make this choice, but the choice was literally whether to sit next to her or somewhere else, and my mind was just fucking blank, and my body made the decision. My body was like, we're fucking sitting there. So I sat next to this unbelievable babe. And now you're sort of thinking, okay, so you fancied her. It wasn't just that. Throughout her first day, people came into the office. It was a fairly matriarchal business there. There was a lot of guys at director level, guys at HR level, and throughout the day, they all came through and talked to this girl. Directors had never even been in our office before. They'd never set foot in it. The only reason they fucking knew where it was because some other guy had gone, have you seen the new girl in the customer service? You know, you come out, nobody had seen speeches like this. You know, when I started, they didn't come filtering down one after the other and telling me, how good luck in the future. I hope you enjoy your time with this company. These cunts were on a fucking conveyor belt to see this new girl, and they might as well have, when they walked away from the conversation, they might as well have said, "Fuck me, she's gorgeous," because it was written all over them. The whole company, nobody could fucking comprehend that a woman this hot had just walked in and sat down in the fucking customer service department next to the cunt who sides with the non-whiners. Oh, she was unbelievable. Well, that's what you get. Anyway, if you're going to get a angelic realm message to Donald Trump, it needs to come from someone like this. Yeah, she's not as hot as the customer service girl. And customer service girl had a boyfriend who was very aware of how good looking she was, obviously, because on her second day, he sent her in the afternoon the biggest bunch of roses I've ever seen in my life. The receptionist was holding them. You couldn't even see her behind them. And there was a card in there saying, you know, "Congrats, baby. Good luck with the new job." Someone was going to me, "Oh, you must really love her." And I said, "No, that's a wolf pissing on his territory." That's a message to these cunts that he knows intuitively. He fucking knows they came dribbling down in dribs and drabs. And not all the directors were fat, ugly cunts. Some of them were rich guys, rich, fairly normal guy of means. The sort of people that you don't really want filing down from the director's table and flirting with your girlfriend too. He sends this bunch of roses that just said, "Fuck you, everyone." Anyway, angelic realm to Donald Trump. It's okay to step down. This hot, crazy woman has got a message for Donald Trump. Christine Pavlova. She is a Pavlova. Let's bite into it. Nearly 2,500 views. 100 thumbs up. She's disabled her subscribe thing, but just over 2,000 views for what doesn't sound like a very interesting vid. She must have quite a big following. I bet she's got about 30,000 subscribers. Right, let's go down. Let's have a little look at the comments. And retweet this to Donald Trump on Twitter. I hope he will fully watch this video and take the message to heart. Alright, let's find out what this message is.
So we all have a part of our soul that lives on the other side called the higher self. The higher self is you in your most perfect angelic form that is directly connected to the collective consciousness and the divine.
So it's like a crouton in a big soup where the liquid is God and everyone else is croutons and bits of noodles and stuff, right?
Your higher self lives on the other side. So, lack of a better way to explain it, there are essentially two of you. There is part of your soul that lives inside your mortal body that I call the lower self, and the other part of your soul, the angelic version of you, that lives on the other side.
Why is the other part of you always the higher bit, the better bit, the more divine? Why isn't the other part of you like in a hellish realm? Why isn't that where all the shitty ideas come from? That should be the temptation that you fight off all the time, and it's linked to everyone else's temptation, having a big orgy of evil and sending you dirty impulses every now and again. How come nobody puts forward that theory?
It's called the higher self, with everyone else's higher self. So this is why unity is so important for our country.
This would suggest unity is important for the whole world. It doesn't have a country slice up geographical region, does it? You're about to say that's universal, and the way you're explaining it sounds universal. So you'd need a decent foreign policy to stop pissing off everyone else around the world in order to gain a benefit from this collective consciousness.
Because we are all connected. The higher self people dismiss as some religious belief. It's not. It's a universal fact.
So your belief is a fact. Where have I heard that before? What other people tell that their spiritual beliefs are universal facts? Oh yeah, it's everyone. Every fucking religion says the same thing, you stupid bint.
So, imagine my surprise when Donald Trump's higher self started hanging out with me.
God, is there anything I can say that would make this worse? I could be nice. Look at that smile. Wow, that's fantastic. She looks great. Okay, Donald Trump's soul, higher self, started hanging out with you. Well, why would that happen? Let's say, I don't know what a good analogy for having part of your soul in the collective consciousness would be. It's part of yourself that resides somewhere else and you're only vaguely aware of it. So I have come up with an analogy for this. It's like if my jizz wanted to talk to me, if my sperm, which are little creatures with half my DNA in them, my sperm are part of me and yet they have an independence in a funny sort of way. It's like they wanted to tell me something. Now, how would my jizz communicate with me? Would they sort of try to alert me somehow? Would they try a little bit of dream influencing? Would they try to speak to my subconscious? If they could, would they speak to my advisors, my friends, my family, if the message was that important? Or would they swim for fucking hundreds of miles and pick you out and start hanging out with you on the off chance that somehow you'd be able to contact the greater me? Well, I don't know if it's my jizz, but something down there is telling me to contact you. Maybe there is something in this.
I noticed that throughout the course of making my Bernie Sanders videos, Donald Trump's higher self would show up, chit-chat with me, and then leave.
You know that saying, never stick your dick in crazy? For the most part, it's very good advice, because in the short and medium term after you do it, there is a hell of a lot of shit to put up with. But on the actual night when you stick your dick in crazy, you find out just how good crazy can be, and every now and again it's worth it. Advice for the kids.
And I never really understood why. He would show up, kind of joke around with me, whatever, say hi, check in, and then leave. Bernie Sanders' higher self never did that. Hillary Clinton's higher self never did that.
Fuck me, if you get a visit from Hillary Clinton's higher self, you're probably about to be killed by a drone strike.
So I always wondered why Mr. Trump was hanging out with me.
You're looking pretty smug there, but I can think of a few reasons that put a different look on your face.
When he was elected president, I sat there and I was shaking my head and I'm like, oh man, that guy's scary. I'm like, I don't want to have to make videos about Donald Trump. That guy's scary.
And that's hilarious, right? What's going on here? I say what's going on. I know, this is a little bit of passive-aggressive presentation. She's going to bring you on side now. The worst thing is it might work. We might be watching this thinking that cute, smiley, semi-submissive babe is now being picked on by the debunker who is being an arsehole. Well, fuck you. I've got my 500 subscribers who don't watch my videos. They're as big assholes as me. I'll just fucking make it for them then. Piss off.
He intimidates people with his money and his power and his below-the-belt insults.
Doesn't Donald Trump do something else below the belt? Something to do with women? Maybe that's why you're smiling so much about this story.
Like, I don't want to have to go up against that. And so Donald Trump's higher self showed up at that moment and said, Christine, don't worry, I'm going to help you. And now I know why. Because this video is to Donald Trump's lower self from Donald Trump's higher self.
Should I be watching this then? Is this like Hillary Clinton's emails? It should be all secret and deleted and shit. I'm sort of thinking about the jism analogy again. The little sperms have gone over to talk to you instead of him. But then why make a video and stick it on YouTube? Surely you would make a video and email it to him as an attachment. Yeah, sure, it might get snared up by his team and his advisors. It might never reach him. But I think there's a higher chance of it reaching him than just by uploading the video to YouTube.
He asked me to relay a message to his lower self for him. Because the part of Mr. Trump that lives in the collective consciousness on the other side is his most angelic self. And this is what he wanted to say to you, Mr. Trump. He's saying that being president is not going to be all it's cracked up to be for you. It was almost an egoic decision that you made that involved more of the thrill of the chase and actually winning the election versus actually being president and fulfilling that role. Your higher self is saying that this is not your purpose, this is not your heart, this is not your passion. He's saying that your life purpose is actually to run your hotels and be an entrepreneur and have your businesses and have your golf courses where people can go and relax and de-stress. Your purpose was really to be this entrepreneur starting all these businesses, creating jobs, right?
Damn, can't do that as president. I wonder how much of the advice from Donald Trump's higher self to his lower self via you actually reflects your political opinions and how you think the world should go. These funny little bits of information like the hotels and the golf courses are now common knowledge. I would expect to see something a little bit more insightful if Donald Trump's higher self has been giving you messages of this level of clarity.
That is your heart, that is your passion, that is your purpose. So by you being elected president, you are essentially considered now off path.
What a fucker. But why doesn't his higher self just wait the 4 years for him to be not president anymore and get back on track? Surely that would be a much more reliable way of getting him back on track than talking to crazy blonde hotties who live somewhere else and have nothing to do with him.
You are out of line with your heart, and you're out of line with your divine soul life purpose. So your higher self has a mouthful to say about that. Why? Because your higher self, it's his job to keep you on path.
This seems like a system set up for failure. The higher soul's job is to keep the lower self on path, and yet the higher soul can't talk to the lower self. It has to go via a third party in a world in which crazy blonde chicks who pop up and say they've got a message for you from your higher self are often regarded as cranks.
The only thing your higher self really cares about, or I'm not going to say the only thing, I'm going to say the thing that your higher self cares about the most is keeping you on path towards your life purpose, towards what you're supposed to be doing to help the collective consciousness as a whole. So, because your higher self reports directly into the divine, your higher self wants what the divine wants. Your higher self and the divine are on the same page. So, here's the issue. You're considered off path. Your higher self is telling me it's not your sole purpose to be president. And you being elected president is directly out of line with what the divine wants for us, because the divine has set the intention for Bernie Sanders to be president.
I'd say the divine really fucked this up then. Where was the divine when Hillary said, fuck off Bernie and here's a bunch of money to fuck off, and the rest of his party went, alright, fuck it.
So now your higher self is freaking out, hanging out with me, because your lower self is going directly against a divine plan. And since your higher self hangs out with the divine, he's like, no, 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 no. Let's let Bernie slide in there, dude. Let's let Bernie slide in there. We don't want this. We don't want this. So right now, your higher self is worried that you're going to come from an egoic position, that you're going to watch this video and be like, what is this girl saying? This is lame.
If he ever saw this, yes, that is what he'd think.
Meanwhile, your higher self is on the other side saying, no, 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 this isn't your life purpose. This isn't your life purpose. And so, what is your higher self going to do in order to get you back on path? He's going to manipulate this energetic connection he has to you. Your higher self is directly connected to your thoughts, your emotions, your compulsions, moods, everything.
If it's connected to his thoughts, it seems to be pretty fucking helpless. Hasn't it got thoughts of its own? It's got an idea. It wants Bernie to win the election and for Trump to stand down. Why can't it think that into his head? It's part of him. You see, it's part of him. His higher self can't think into his head. It's fucking pointless. It's like having jism that doesn't carry any DNA.
So what your higher self told me is about to happen is he is going to manipulate this connection to you. And he's going to try to get you on path with your life purpose. And he is trying to get you to step down from your position. And what he's hoping is that you make a decision from your heart and not your ego. Because ego doesn't exist on the other side. Your higher self couldn't care less about ego, couldn't care less about status, title, nothing.
She reminds me of something.
See it? Cheese. We'll go somewhere where there's cheese.
Ego doesn't exist on the other side. So your higher self is going to try to appeal to your heart in that he's hoping that you do not make an egoic decision to stay president. He's hoping that you listen to your heart and really dig deep within, maybe do some journaling to get in touch with yourself, some meditation to get in touch with yourself, but really get in touch with how you're really truly feeling at your core, and really think about whether or not you truly want to be president. So how is your higher self going to use this energetic connection to you? Number one, he said you're going to develop a distaste for the position. He showed me an image of taste buds, and he just said he's going to develop a distaste for it. It's not going to really appeal to him anymore. It's going to lose its fervor. It's like a sparkly diamond that is now dull.
The higher self is like this fucking doofus. The higher self is talking to you direct, saying he's gonna have distaste for this. In case you didn't get the message from the direct words, then holds up a picture of taste buds. Why would you need to do that to ram that point home? If I say you're talking bollocks, I don't then pick up a picture of bollocks so that you can see what I mean. If I say I think you are a stupid slut, I don't then pick up this fucking picture of Anita Sarkozy. If I say I want you to give me a hand job, I don't pick up a picture and say, will you do this for me, darling? Why would I need to do that? This communication method's off key. The way you're describing it's off key. Something's wrong, something's missing. And I think the thing missing is that you were sat at home thinking Donald Trump's a bit of an arsehole, and then for whatever reason an image of taste buds popped into your head and you were like, yeah, I've got a message for him.
It's lost its sparkle. The appeal is worn off. He's going to be upset at his loss of control over things. He's going to be upset over the loss of freedom. He's going to be upset that he can't just fire people. He's going to be upset that he's now being told what to do, that he has to answer to people now. He's not used to being told what to do. And so he's saying he's going to miss his old life. For example, they're saying, Mr. Trump, that you would pick up the phone and handle, older business matters, business matters like your comfort zone that you're familiar with, and it's going to feel really nice and really relaxing to you, like putting on an old pair of underwear. And then you're going to do with presidential stuff, and it's just going to be like, look, it's not going to appeal to you. You're just going to be like, oh, okay, what do I have to do? So that comfort zone, I just want to let you know, you actually working as an entrepreneur in your hotels and stuff, that comfort zone, it's not just because it's comfortable. It's because your higher self is rewarding you with positive emotion for going that direction, that hour or two. So you're going to feel rewarded with positive emotion by your higher self when you deal with hotel. I mean, I know you're passing your businesses off to other people right now, but I'm just saying, test it. Test it. Don't take my word for it. Pay close attention to your emotions, because they're saying that when you go back to your comfort zone, it's going to feel nice and relaxing. And that's because of your higher self. Your higher self will be rewarding you with positive emotion and basically letting you know, hey, you're technically not supposed to be president. Because every time you address a task that, that being president involves, it's just not going to feel as good as what you used to do. So another thing is that universal energies rise up to support you in your truth. And what the divine is telling me is that being president in the United States is actually not your truth. So not only is it not your purpose, but it's not your truth. So since universal energies rise up to support you in your personal truths, if being president isn't your truth, it means it's like a deflated balloon. There's no universal energy behind you. There's no universal support. You will feel like a fish swimming upstream. Forces of nature won't help you out. Stars won't align for you in being president. You'll just feel like a fish swimming upstream, like nothing's really going to go your way. You're going to feel it. You have no universal support in doing this because you're going directly against divine intent. So you're going to feel that. And so what they were saying is that if you do decide to step down, that's what your higher self is asking you to do, is to step down from the position, even though he knows how hard you worked to get there. Your higher self is asking you to step down from the position, and he's saying that if you do decide to do that, forces of nature will rise up to support you in stepping down. They will try to make the road as smooth for you as possible. So this is essentially a video appealing to your heart. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings here. I know that it can be pretty hurtful to work really, really hard, be elected president, and then have somebody create a video saying, hey, sorry, God wants somebody else. You know, that could be really hurtful. And so the point of this is not to directly insult you in any way. It's to let you know that this is actually a black and white election. God wants Bernie Sanders, and he's going to find a way to make that happen. So if you don't voluntarily step down, the divine's going to find a different way to put Bernie Sanders in there.
It always seems sus to me when somebody speaks on behalf of the Lord of the universe, and then simple American politics goes against what the Lord wanted. We'll find any way of putting Bernie in there. The Lord is going to have to wait 4 years like everyone else.
And you might not actually like the way that the divine chooses to do that. So that's why your higher self is appealing to you right now, saying, Donald, listen to her! This dude hangs out with me, man. I don't know what to tell you. He teases me. He says, speaking in absolutes comes naturally for me. I don't know why it was such a big deal for you. It's how you get things done. Anyway. He's funny, though. I gotta tell you. Your higher self makes me laugh. He's a pretty cool guy, actually. I don't have a problem spending time with him. Anyway, so, it's not really about you as an individual. This isn't like some sort of gigantic personal insult against you as an individual. It's really about the collective consciousness and what's good for us as a country with regards to universal energies rising up and supporting us as a nation so that we can align ourselves with the truth and align ourselves with everybody's highest good. And according to the divine, everybody's highest good is Bernie Sanders. So that is why your higher self wanted me to create this video, essentially telling you what the deal is. But again, you don't have to take my word for it.
You've got a special message for Donald Trump that nobody else can see or hear, and he doesn't have to take your word for it. Fine.
You're fired. Get out.